What a night at Selhurst Park. If you're a Manchester United fan, you might want to look away now, because what we just witnessed was nothing short of a demolition, a masterclass from Crystal Palace, a 4-0 victory, and honestly, it could have been more. This wasn't just a loss for United, it was a complete capitulation, a performance that raises serious questions about the direction of the club under Ten Hag. Let's break down this incredible match moment by painful moment for the Red Devils. From the very first whistle, Palace looked sharper, hungrier, and more organized. United, on the other hand, looked disjointed, lethargic, and tactically naive. The warning signs were there early, but the first goal, which came just 12 minutes in, was a perfect example of United's defensive frailties. Olise, who was simply sensational all evening, picked up the ball inside his own half. What happened next was almost embarrassing. He glided past Casemiro, who put in a challenge that was half-hearted at best. Olise just continued his run unopposed into the heart of the United defense. No one closed him down. He had acres of space on the edge of the box and calmly slotted the ball past Andre Onana. It was far too easy. You can't allow a player of his quality that much time and space. It was a disasterglass in defending from United and a sign of things to come. United tried to respond. You could see players like Alejandro Garnacho trying to make things happen, running at the Palace defense, but every attack felt isolated, lacking any real cohesion or game plan. Rasmus Højlund was a lonely figure up front, starved of service. Whenever United did get into a promising position, the final ball was poor, or the decision-making was just off. They had a goal disallowed when Rasmus Højlund was judged to have fouled Dean Henderson in the build-up, a decision that was probably correct, but it summed up their frustrations. They just couldn't get anything to stick. Then, 5 minutes before halftime, the second goal arrived, and it was another defensive horror show. A long ball was played forward, and Chris Richards won the header against a floundering Johnny Evans. The ball fell to Jean-Philippe, who found himself one-on-one with Evans. What followed was brutal. Mateta turned Evans inside out with a brilliant piece of skill, leaving the veteran defender on the floor before smashing the ball into the roof of the net. It was pure power and skill from the Palace striker. But again, from a United perspective, it was simply unacceptable defending. To be so easily beaten, so physically dominated, was alarming. Going into halftime 2-0 down, the mood among the traveling United fans was bleak. The team looked completely lost. If United fans were hoping for a second-half resurgence, they were sorely mistaken. Palace came out with the same intensity, while United seemed to have accepted their fate. The third goal, just before the hour mark, was another illustration of Palace's superiority and United's chaos. A cross came in from the left, and Joachim Andersen did brilliantly to keep it alive at the back post. He squared it across the face of goal, and who was there, unmarked, to tap it in? Tyrick Mitchell. It was his first goal at Selhurst Park, and it was a simple finish, but the defending was once again non-existent. Where was the communication? Where was the desire to get to the ball first? The entire backline was static. Actually, this point the game was over as a contest, but Crystal Palace weren't done. And neither was their star man, Michael Olise, in the 66th minute. He produced the moment of the match. Casemiro was dawdling on the ball deep in his own half, a position where you absolutely cannot afford to lose possession. Daniel Munoz showed incredible tenacity to dispossess him, pressing with an intensity that United simply couldn't match all night. The ball rolled to Olise about 25 yards out. Without hesitation, he curled an absolutely stunning strike with his left foot right into the top corner. Onana had no chance. It was a goal of the season contender, a moment of pure genius that capped off a phenomenal individual performance. For Casemiro, who was playing as a makeshift center back, it was the final humiliation of the night he will want to forget. He was arguably at fault for 3 of the 4 goals. The rest of the game was essentially a training exercise for Palace. They were passing the ball around with confidence, their fans were celebrating every pass, and United looked completely broken. Oliver Glasner has done a phenomenal job since taking over at Palace. They look organized, they press with intent, and they play with a freedom and confidence that makes them a joy to watch. Players like Olise, Ez, and Mateta are thriving under his system. They're safe from relegation and are now playing some of the best football in the league. You have to give them immense credit. For Manchester United, this is a new low in a season filled with them. This was their 13th defeat of the Premier League season, a club record. The injury crisis is a valid excuse, but it doesn't explain the complete lack of fight, structure, and basic competence we saw on that pitch. Players who should be leaders looked lost. The system, if there even is one, was completely picked apart. This performance will put enormous pressure on Ten Hag, with INEOs and the new ownership watching on. You have to wonder how much more of this they will tolerate. The FA Cup final against Manchester City is their only chance of salvaging anything from this season, but on this evidence, they'll be torn apart. This was more than just a bad result. It was an identity crisis played out in 90 minutes. The gap between where Manchester United are and where they want to be looks bigger than ever. They were outthought, outfought, and outplayed in every single department. Crystal Palace, on the other hand, are flying. They were brilliant from start to finish, and their fans have every right to be excited about the future under Oliver Glasner. It was a historic night at Selhurst Park for both the right and the very, very wrong reasons. What a game. What a scoreline. The fallout from this one will rumble on for days. Thanks so much for watching. What did you make of that performance? Where does United go from here? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, even if it was a painful one, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more football analysis. See you in the next one.